Merry Christmas, boys and girls. I have a couple of Christmas stories to share with you today. This is one of my favorite books to read at Christmas time, and it's called The Other Side of Christmas by Beth Gully. I'm going to read it, and then we're going to talk a little bit about some of the special things in this book, and we'll look at it a little bit more closely after. This was a personalized book. For me, it says, Lydia and Caleb enjoyed both sides of Christmas, Beth Gully. My two kids are Lydia and Caleb, and this was one that my cousin gave to me. She knew the author. And if you look closely, do you see the word Santa? There's S-A-N-T-A. Now that's going to be really interesting later in this story, because if you turn this upside down, you can see the word Jesus. J-E-S-U-S. Because what is Christmas really all about? Jesus' birthday. The other side of Christmas. And then this says Santa. There's a picture of Santa there. Christmas is coming. It's just about here. It's everyone's favorite time of the year. In the kitchen, Mom's baking. The cookies smell great. Mom says they're too hot, so we'll just have to wait. There's a picture of Mom baking cookies. Yum, I love Christmas cookies. See the tree full of ornaments with lights blinking bright and long strands of popcorn to eat Christmas night. There's a picture of the tree with the popcorn strung along it. There's the popcorn and the ornaments. The kids visit Santa with their wish lists of toys, while Santa checks his list for good girls and boys. There's Santa at the mall with his long list of good boys and girls. Kids are lined up there waiting. On the fireplace mantel, stockings hang for us all, stuffed full of candy and yo-yos and balls. I see a red one and a yellow one and a blue one hung there by the fireplace. Christmas is coming. We're having great fun. Sleigh riding and sliding. Too fast. Here we come. There's a picture of the kids sledding down the hill. High over the rooftops, I see Santa's sleigh, chock full of toys, and he's coming our way. So there's the town down below and Santa's sleigh. I see his hat. Looks like it's full of toys. The malls are still open late into the night for those last-minute gifts that are still within sight. There's a picture of the shopping mall. The lights shining brightly into the night. It says mall like that. With all the young children sleeping snug in their beds, Santa's sleigh full of gifts flies high overhead. There's the town, and there's Santa's sleigh. Christmas is coming to every young girl and boy, each dreaming of bicycles, puppies, and toys. There's some presents that kids are thinking about, all those presents that they might have on Christmas morning. It's Christmas Day. It's finally here. Kids opening their presents with great joy and fun. But this story's not finished. We've only begun. Let me tell you a new story for old hearts and young. The story of God's love that was born through his Son. Come follow the star to God's chosen one. Okay, now we started out like this, and we were reading. There's the kids and the Christmas tree. And then the story kind of went like this. And then I turned the book upside down, and it says, to follow the star. Let's see where the star leads us. It says, turn to the next page. So now we're going backwards through this story. To Mary, God's angel one day did appear. You are highly favored. You have nothing to fear. Soon your name will be known through the land, for to you will be born the Savior of man. Now let's look at this picture a little differently. Do you see Mary by the bed? And do you see the angels there? And there's the carpet. When we were reading it before, that was the dream that the kids were having of the toys. That was the window. Now, it's Mary kneeling by the bed, and the angels are over here with their wings. And here the presents are windows on Mary's wall. To Joseph, now Mary was engaged to be wed, and by the word of the emperor, to their homeland they fled. Mary and Joseph traveled all day and all night. Oh, what a joy, Bethlehem's now in sight. So now we see Mary and Joseph traveling through the desert to Bethlehem. There's the town of Bethlehem, and there's the star overhead. This was Santa's sleigh when we were reading it before. Bethlehem's crowded. There's no place to stay. All of the innkeepers turned them away. So the inn is full. There's the crowds. Remember, that was the shopping mall before. At last, an old manger covered in hay is where Jesus was born on that first Christmas day. Do you see inside the stable there? There's Mary and Joseph. Here's the barn where baby Jesus was born. God's heavenly angel tells the shepherds the news. Go to Bethlehem now, and there's no time to lose. A baby is born to you, King of the Jews. There's the angel here, and she's talking to the shepherds who are watching over their sheep. There's the sheep. Can you see those other sheep? The shepherds have followed the star to the sun and bow down to worship God's chosen one. There's baby Jesus. Can you see in the corner? There. And there the shepherds bowing down. Remember, those were the stockings hung by the chimney on the fireplace? King Herod was jealous when he heard the news. There can only be one king of the Jews. So he wrote a decree to keep ruling the Jews, but because of God's warning, King Herod would lose. So now we have Herod sitting on the throne, and these pillars here, and there's the soldiers standing with Herod. That was Santa at the shopping mall before. To the new king, the wise men followed the star, carrying gold, frankincense, and myrrh from afar. So they're the three kings carrying their gifts for baby Jesus. Do you remember what this was the first time? It was the popcorn strung on the tree with the ornaments. In the arms of his parents, the new baby rests, as those in his presence bow down and say, yes, the Savior is here. Oh, how we are blessed. So there's Jesus and his parents, Mary and Joseph, and then the others are bowing down around him, worshiping baby Jesus. And this, remember it was a picture of Santa when we first read? Now it says Jesus. J-E-S-U-S. There's his beard, and he has his hair, and his eyes, and his halo is shining at the top. Jesus. And when we read it the first time, it was Santa. So this is such a cool book. Now, you understand a little bit better where it says Jesus this way and Santa this way. So that was The Other Side of Christmas by Beth Gully. And again, this tells the story of Santa Claus, but also the story of Jesus, whose birthday Christmas is all about. Okay, my next story is Santa is Coming to Georgia. Look at that picture. Oh, pretty cool. There's some of the highlights from Georgia here. There's the Fox Theater, Georgia Aquarium, the Big Red Chicken, got the Varsity there, the Capitol Building. Pretty neat. Okay. Santa is Coming to Georgia. This is written by Steve Smallman. Well, boomed Santa, have all the children from Georgia been good this year? Well, mostly, answered the little old elf as he bustled across the busy workshop to Santa's desk. Santa peered down at the elf from behind the tall, teetering piles of letters that the children of Georgia had sent him. Mostly? Asked Santa, looking over the top of his glasses. Yes, but they've all been especially good in the last few days, said the elf. Jolly good, chuckled Santa. Then we'd better get their presents loaded up. If you look at the calendar, it says December 24th. That's the night before Christmas. Even though the sack of toys was really, really big and the elves were really, really small, they seemed to have no trouble loading it onto Santa's sleigh. Though how they managed to fit such a big sack into one little sleigh, even they didn't know. But somehow they did. Splendid, boomed Santa. We're ready to go. Not quite, Santa, said the little old elf. One of our reindeer is missing. Uh-oh, I see an empty harness there. No reindeer. Missing? Which reindeer is missing? Asked Santa. The youngest one, Santa, said the elf. It's his first flight tonight. I've called him, but... Just then a young reindeer strolled up, munching a long carrot. Where have you been? Asked Santa. But the youngest reindeer was crunching so loudly that it was no wonder he hadn't heard the little old elf calling. Oh, well, never mind, said Santa, giving the reindeer a little wink. He took out his Santa nav and tapped in the coordinates for Georgia. It's like using the GPS. This will guide us to Georgia in no time. Crunch, crunch, crunch. That reindeer is munching on the carrot. With a flick of the reins and a jerk of the harness, off they went, racing through the sky. Ho, 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 laughed Santa. We'll soon have these presents delivered to the Peach State. Because Georgia's nickname is the Peach State, right? So off they flew. Santa's sleigh flew through the starry night, heading south across the Arctic Ocean. On they flew in the crisp, wintry air, crossing over Canada. In the wink of an eye, the sleigh was flying over the Great Lakes and on over the Appalachian Mountains. The youngest reindeer was very excited. He had never been away from the North Pole before. They were just nearing the Blue Ridge Mountains when suddenly they ran into a thick fog. Mist swirled around the sleigh. They couldn't see a thing. The youngest reindeer was getting a bit worried, but Santa didn't seem concerned. "In 2 miles," said the Santa Nav in a bossy lady's voice. "Keep left at the next star." "But, ma'am," Santa blustered, "I can't see any stars at all in this fog." Soon they were hopelessly lost. Uh-oh, that doesn't seem good. Then, through the foggy blanket, the youngest reindeer heard a faint ringing sound. Ding dong, ding dong. He looked over at the old reindeer with the red nose, but he had his head down. Red nose, wonder who that could be. Ding dong, ding dong. There was that sound again, like church bells ringing. The youngest reindeer turned around to look at Santa, but Santa wasn't listening. He seemed to be arguing with a little box with buttons on it. With a flick of the harness and a jerk of the reins, the youngest reindeer gave a sharp tug and headed off toward the sound of the bells, pulling Santa and his sleigh behind him. "Whoa!" cried Santa, pulling his hat straight. "What's going on?" Then, to his surprise, he heard the ringing sound. "Well done, young reindeer," he shouted cheerfully. "It must be the Cathedral of St. Philip in Atlanta. Don't worry, children, Santa is coming." Then suddenly, crunch! The sleigh hit something as it plummeted through the fog. "You have arrived," said the Santa Nav, unhelpfully. Oh boy, look, there are presents flying out of the sleigh. Santa's grabbing his hat. They've had a crash. Finally, when the fog had lifted, Santa discovered exactly where they were. Stuck right at the very top of the Georgia State Capitol. "Everyone, pull!" The reindeer pulled with all their might until at last, with a screeching noise, the sleigh scraped clear of the dome and Santa steered them safely past World of Coca-Cola, along Marietta Street, and down into Olympic Centennial Park. How many of you have been to World of Coca-Cola, or at least seen the building before, and maybe played at the park, or in the big fountain, the Olympic fountain? Luckily, there was no real damage, but the packages had all been jumbled up. Santa quickly sorted the presents into order again. "All right," said Santa. "Thanks to this young reindeer, I know where we are now. Don't worry, children. Santa is coming." Here we are at the park, trying to get organized again. Santa drove his sleigh expertly from rooftop to rooftop all over Georgia, popping in and out of chimneys as fast as he could go, which was pretty fast for a chubby fellow. There were big chimneys in Thomasville and small chimneys in Athens. He squeezed down thin chimneys in Gainesville and plummeted down fat chimneys in Statesboro. The youngest reindeer was amazed at how quickly they went. Santa never seemed to get tired at all, and it looked like the children in Georgia were going to be very lucky this year. But the youngest reindeer was starting to feel a bit weary and quite hungry, too. In house after house, Santa delved into his sack for packages of every shape and size. He piled them under the Christmas trees and carefully filled up the stockings with surprises. In house after house, the good children of Georgia had left out a plate of cookies, a small glass of milk, and a big crunchy carrot. Santa took a little bite out of each cookie, a tiny sip of milk, wiped his beard, and popped the carrots into his sack. From Savannah to Decatur, from Augusta to Albany, from Macon to Marietta, and all the places in between, Santa and his sleigh visited every house in Georgia. Santa delivered presents to Andrew, Allison, Anna, Arabella, Archie, Ashley. The list went on and on. Zach, Zara, Zeb, Zone, Zoe, Zibble. Zibble? That must be a mistake, surely. There's downtown. A lot of the famous landmarks of Georgia. Finally, Santa had delivered the last present on his long Georgia list. Great moons and stars, sighed Santa. Oh, it's past midnight and my sack seems as heavy as ever. I hope I haven't forgotten anyone. Santa opened his sack to check, but it was full of juicy, crunchy carrots. Santa divided the carrots among all the reindeer. Well done, he said, patting the youngest reindeer gently on the nose. But the youngest reindeer didn't hear him. He was too busy munching. Then it was time to set off for home. Santa reset his Santa Nav once more to the North Pole, and soon they were speeding across the Chattahoochee River, over Peachtree Street, and over Stone Mountain Park, through the crisp, starry night. Ho, 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 laughed Santa. Merry Christmas, Georgia. The end. I hope you enjoyed the Santa is Coming to Georgia book, and that you have a Merry, Merry Christmas, and we'll have some more stories after the holidays. Thank you. Bye-bye.